Hi, this is Roger Sanchez. Right now, you're kicking it with my man, Chubby B.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Roger Sanchez for ChubbyBeavers.com. Roger, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too,
So,
bro.
Roger, you've been in Miami a couple of days now.
Yes.
What are the best parties been? The events? You know, you DJ'd at Ultra yesterday. How was that?
Ultra was insane yesterday. It was one of those things where you had 100,000 kids coming from around the whole United States and people from around the world. And they were just going for it.
Yeah.
It was big. Big party. Then I had my event on Wednesday night at Mansion, Release Yourself, which was a great underground vibe. And tonight I'm doing a stealth event alongside Fairly Grand.
Fairly grand. And talk a little about the setup at Ultra. Maybe like the boombox setup, the light show, because I know that was kind of like a new thing they started doing this year.
They set up the structure with the scaffolding, and they put like the scrim around it. And they had like the square center that the DJ basically was kind of popped in. And that's the boombox. They had like a stage, the main stage, another stage, and the Korea, which is where the boombox was. And everyone was right in front of you. The energy was really right there.
Yeah. Awesome. So I know you're from New York. I'm actually a New York native myself, and you're the first DJ producer that I've interviewed from New York. And I've been wanting to ask you for a while. You know, growing up, I'm a newcomer to the electronic music industry. Growing up, I was always into hip hop and that type of music. Can you talk about what it was like to get into electronic music, coming from an area where maybe it wasn't as prevalent? I know you might have been a hip hop guy.
It's interesting because I did start out playing hip hop and breaks and everything. I'm an old school DJ from way back in the days. But the interesting thing is, when house music first started coming over from Chicago, there was a real underground that was really supporting it. You had DJs like Larry Van, with Paradise Garage, Nick Siano, who was doing the Loft, and these were the guys that really brought house music into New York and created this whole underground movement. And it quickly started mixing with influences from Latin breaks. You had hip house, which came around for a while, and it looks like it's coming back now. And these are the rhythms that really influenced me, coming from New York. The Latin rhythms, the jazz rhythms, the hip hop, everything just really meshed into one.
Yeah. So you started DJing, and then you did a little New York. You started to go out to Europe and Ibiza. When did you start DJing in Ibiza, and how does that develop you as a DJ?
The first year I played in Ibiza was 1995. The thing is that the first time I went out was because I was doing a lot of things in the UK and across Europe, specifically the UK, and that UK audience is very, very much prevalent in Ibiza then. Since then, it's really developed into much more global attractions. So people from all around the world come to Ibiza during the summertime. And now it's basically every major DJ has their brand that they have in Ibiza. They have their own night, or they host a night, and it's really big. It's become the focal center of Europe when we want to go and check out dance music.
Great, and talk a little bit about the future of you in Ibiza. I know you're branching yourself out and doing new projects out there. So
this year, I'm actually taking releases up around Europe a bit more. We're doing a residency in Mykonos. In Ibiza, I usually did every week a weekly party, and what I decided this year was to focus more on July and August for Release Yourself. But then also start doing I started last year doing Stealth Records, which is my label, the event once a month as a beach party, kind of do a different vibe. And I think this year we're going to develop and expand that.
Okay. And where's your favorite place to DJ in the world besides from Miami? And where's the best places to party?
Wow, there's so many places, man. I've had a fantastic time playing in Brazil, Montreal was fantastic. New York, my hometown. I love playing in my hometown. And Ibiza. Yeah. Ibiza is probably one of the most due places for house music.
Cool. So as you know, house music becoming ever so popular in America as opposed to Europe, where it's been established for quite some time. How do people in America respond to your music and your sound as to people in Europe?
I think the interesting thing is the younger crowd in America is really coming from a mixture of trance and house. So and also the more electronic sound. My sound has started to take on different elements of that, so it's really beginning to mesh very, very, very well. And there's also a very deep underground that I still maintain a bit of that sound as well. So you kind of see the two scenes polarized.
Yeah.
Really young audience, and then the kind of older VIP and the no audience. And they both love different aspects of it, but they love house music. And I love the fact that they're especially the young crowd is really getting into it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk a little about your productions. What is the most important thing you do when you produce a track? Is there a specific sound you go for? Is there, in your future, are you looking to develop your sound into, new mediums?
One of the things that I've been doing, like right now, is working on the new artist album and collaborating with a lot of different people. Got my new single with Forest Movement, which was about to do 50 Cent, possibly Snoop. I also did some rap with the band Bottom, which is like on the hip hop side, in terms of bringing hip hop to house. But then I'm also working with bands like with Fly, working with Danny Jones, doing something electronic with him, and Cascade. So I'm branching my sound out. It's really important for me to collaborate with people to kind of take in those influences and also give my own back to them.
Yeah, cool. And just talk a little bit about your influences. Did you have a specific influences growing up, and with your current sound now, is there anyone who influences you?
Growing up, I was definitely influenced by Latin music, hip hop, jazz, disco. And recently, it's interesting, the last few years, I've just been taking so many different influences, like rock. A lot of the younger producers definitely taking a twist on some of the older sounds and reimagining them. And that's really influenced the way I reimagine my own sound and try to force myself to try to not to stick to the same thing. But then I've always been someone who likes to try different things and not be afraid of it. So now it's one of the times when I'm really taking my time to experiment with different sounds.
Cool. Who's your favorite producer out right now?
It's always hard to say one. I definitely like a lot of the young guys that are coming up. Definitely guys like Avicii for like the bigger, kind of big room sound. A lot of tech producers that I'm really into what they're doing. Supernova. Chris Moody is one of the artists that I really definitely probably more money because he's doing some amazing productions. Afrojack's got huge, big records, so there's a lot of really big producers out there that are coming up from the underground.
Being a blogger, we get a number of submissions each day from aspiring and talented young musicians from every aspect of the world, doing house and dubstep and different genres. But one thing we get a lot is that there's kind of like a drawback in their financial resources, and they have kind of trouble promoting themselves as an artist and developing a big sound. What advice could you give for aspiring musicians around the world who want to develop their sound and put their name out there to the general public?
Well, the interesting thing is, being a blogger, you understand how important social media is. In terms of getting the word out there, you hit every blogger you possibly can. You go online, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just be very creative in coming up with a different approach. In terms of how do you perfect the craft, it takes a little bit of investment, but anybody can invest, save money, buy a laptop, invest in the sounds they like, and really just kind of get in and know your box, know your tool, and just start to really work at it.
Cool.
And eventually you'll get something where it defines you and it separates you.
Great. Where do you see house music going in the near future?
I think it's getting bigger and bigger. It's really reaching a younger audience, and I think that's giving house music a new life. It's expanded the longevity of it, and it's also changing. So you're seeing influences like I said, dubstep, trance, everything. All that's mixing in the house. It's really just one big dance genre.
Cool. And what can we expect from Roger Sanchez in the next coming year?
Definitely a lot of new music. I'm just about to get ready to release a thing I did with Sidney Sampson, who's also a fantastic producer. Plus a lot of collaborations that I'm doing. So
cool.
A lot of big things.
Anything you can tell us about Stealth Records and artists you guys are putting out? Or
definitely. I mean, one of the guys that we're really promoting now is Chris Moody. He's got like a really big chunky sound. Lex the Funk. We've got guys like Baggy Begovic from Europe that do like a deeper, techier sound. The thing that I focus on with Stealth now is not so much just releasing tracks and music. I'm more into the artist development, signing an artist to Stealth, to be part of the family. We do events together, release records together, we collaborate together, and really go out as a team. That's what it's about.
All right, well, Roger, thank you. It was great meeting with you. And guys, there it is, Roger Sanchez.